Welcome back, man. It's the Hardware Report here once again, man. Fresh off the guest feature, man. If you guys didn't listen to that pod, go and listen to the Brainstorming Basketball podcast. We were just on there, had some hot takes, but back to the original scheduled program. We're here to talk some basketball. A lot of things happened this week. So before we dive into all that, let's talk to the boys, see what you guys been up to, bro. Kev, how you been? Long time. Well, not long time because we
Don't
chatted
play
a
with
couple
that
days.
boy. He is not one of them. Shout out 2 Chainz. Still, that nigga's back is broken. Bro. They Lil Baby's PR team should get fired as of today. They had no business putting him on that bullshit. I ain't never seen a man look that sorry in my life.
I'm a rapper, not a baller. Simple. Chris, what are you saying?
Yeah, yo. The conspiracy theories about him and Quavo having beef, it's alive and well because that nigga was not letting up. Pressure all game, fam. Like it's crazy. But I'm here, yo. All-Star weekend is upon us. The first half is over. Honestly, looking back, it didn't really go that bad. You know what I'm saying? We had a little bit of hiccups and all of that stuff. But like before the year, we thought that this shit might have been shut down type of thing. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So I'm glad that the second half is about to approach and about to happen.
I hear that. So let's stick on the topic since we're talking about the All Star game being in Atlanta. So for those of you that don't know, Lloyd Pierce has recently been let go of his duties. Atlanta, for the most part, in most people's opinion, has been a disappointment this year. Just given the fact that they added a lot of key pieces and it didn't really turn into anything. Everybody would pretty much say that they consider themselves to be a playoff team, or at least be in the runnings, which they technically say are still are, given the fact of how bad the Eastern Conference has been this year. But I guess it hasn't met expectations. So I'll shoot it to you, Chris, first. What do you think about the Lloyd Pierce firing, just generally off the top? But before you do that, let me just say that they are currently sitting in 11th place, 16 and 20. Um, Go ahead, though.
It's a shame. It's just a shame. That's all it boils down to for me. We're talking about a guy that he's been in the role about 2+ years now, and this is the first year where we can actually say he came in with any type of pressure or any type of expectation to do any type of winning. In saying that, this year he hasn't had his full team. I don't think his full cast of characters has ever played together on at the same time. Last time John Collins decided that he was going to trick off and go, chase a bag on off the PhDs, and he was gone for an extended period of time. This time, yes, the GM made the choice to sign a man like Danilo Gallinari, who reverted back to his old ways, and now he's not playing basketball no more. Bogdan, who they signed, was supposed to be the pickup. That was supposed to be the pickup that made changes or changed life in Atlanta, and he has been gone. Really hasn't played any meaningful basketball all year long. DeAndre Hunter, he was petitioning to be at least the second best player on that team with the efficiency and holding it down at that wing position. He was gone for an extended period of time and still won't be back until near the end of the month, near the end of March. You know what I'm saying? And then you have only guys like you only have Trae Young and John Collins, and John Collins is chasing the bag, so you don't know what he's really doing out there. He's playing for I. And then you have Trae Young, who is Trae Young. Like, yes, he has his good and he also has his bad. So for me, it's a shame. Like, he didn't actually get a chance to see what he could have done with the cards that they put out on the table for him. And then you're looking at a guy like Trae Young. They're saying that Trae Young and him never really meshed. This is what coaches talk about when they say that the players are getting ahead of themselves, because you can't be a Trae Young, haven't actually solidified yourself in the NBA yet, but yet you can tell me to fire a next man. It doesn't work like that. First, you handle your business, and then we start looking at who's not handling theirs. You see what I'm saying? There has to be some type of progression here, and Trae Young hasn't hit that yet. He hasn't hit that yet to be dictating whether or not a next man can get a paycheck, and it's just a shame. Honestly, it's a shame.
Go ahead, Kevin. I have a long take, so I'll let you slide
Yeah.
in still.
Nah, Rob's go still. Gotta go, Rob's.
Nah, because the thing about it is that I feel like, again, my opinion may be a little bit biased because I am a fan of Trey Young. But when you say he's not doing his work, what more do you want him to do? Like, he dropped a 30 and 10. He came in, and yeah, he's not doing it super efficiently. But to me, this just reminds me of another Brett Brown situation with Philly, right? They went through the rebuild. Granted, it wasn't as bad as a rebuild that Philly had to go through. But at the same time, if we look at the situation, like, they're still on the upcome. And who is Lloyd Pierce? He's not Pop. You couldn't tell me who Lloyd Pierce was 5 years ago, so his resume doesn't dictate anything. And on top of that, if Trae Young is the only bright spot that's supposed to be there for the foreseeable future, you're going to do whatever you can to keep him happy. And even if it's not in the best interest of the team, it's not like what you have right now is currently working, so you're not really sacrificing anything. So the way I look at it is like, yeah, you could fire Lloyd Pierce.
Well,
Go ahead.
just a rebuttal that just a rebuttal that quickly, right? Because yes, Lloyd Pierce is not pop, but you didn't give him a
But
chance to see
but
what
what
he
I'm saying
was.
is he didn't get the chance because he wasn't performing. Right? Granted, whatever circumstances you want to,
And why was
I
that,
understand
fam?
that. I understand his team wasn't the greatest. I understand that. We get that. But what I'm saying is this: he, even though he didn't necessarily have the talent, that doesn't mean that that was justification for him saving his job. Right? We understand Atlanta wasn't star-studded for years to come in the past 3-4 seasons. We understand that, but at the same time, he didn't do a great job either. It's not like they were one of those teams that were losing, but yet they had a high defensive rating or something like that. Like they weren't doing anything. So you could blame both parties. You could equally blame Trae Young and you could equally blame Lloyd Pierce. But one man's putting up 30 and 10, and one man's not doing much with the roster. So again, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that like, oh, Trae Young got him fired, but I understand if the
They're
organization,
both not doing.
Trae Young's doing what he can,
Trey
man.
Young did get
No,
him.
he's
No, no,
doing
Trey Young got him
okay,
fired,
but he's
fam.
doing what he's
Say,
doing.
fam, Trey Young got him fired. But yo, if Trey Young, like you just said, if Trey Young wanted him there, he would have
No,
been
no, no,
there.
no.
So
You're
Trey Young
mistaking
got
my
him
point. I'm
fired.
not saying that Trae Young didn't get him fired. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that if Trae Young went to organization and said this is not the guy, I can understand why the organization said, all right, we're gonna get rid of him because Trae Young is doing his job. Like, what more do you want him to do? If he says it's not
Yo, all
working, I
right.
get to let
So,
him go.
I don't agree, but Kev can jump in.
because for me, right, I think Chris, what it sounds like you're saying is that Lloyd Pierce is a good coach, but I don't think you're actually. I don't think you mean that because I know all three of us don't know whether he's a good coach.
No, that's what I'm
No,
saying.
but
I'm saying I don't know what Lloyd Pierce is, and they didn't actually give him a chance to let us see what he is. That's what I'm saying.
this is like but how many years are you gonna give a man? Because like man's missed games in the NBA, right? You got to do what you can with what you have, and I think uh he's all time 63 and 120 record. Like even that team last year, if you look back at that team last year with
Come
a
on,
Trae
man.
Young, a John Collins producing, although he missed bare games, like you should not be the second last team in the East. So if I can tell, I can't say he's a good coach, but there is some inclinings that he's not a good one, that he's not a good coach. And combined with that, not losing, yeah, they miss guys. Yeah, Trae Young is fam. Like you can't point to Trae Young and say you're the problem out of all the mans on the roster. He's going out there averaging
I'm not
30 and 10. You
I'm
can't.
not saying that he's a problem. I'm saying that the only real issue I have with Trey Young is that Trey Young is dictating a man's paycheck when I don't believe he is on that level to dictate who is coaching him.
But
That's my
I hear
issue
you,
with
but
Trey
all right,
Young.
but that's the organization's fault. Because if you let the prisoners run the
The
prison,
asylum.
it's only on you. Still, it's just you, fam. Like you can't look to Trae Young and say you're wrong for that. If they go to Trae Young and ask for his opinion and he gives it, that's not his problem.
I don't think it was like that, Kev. I think he
No,
gave
no,
his opinion.
I know. But I'm saying, but if there's room for your opinion, that's your fault. Because there's certain people in life that you can't go to and give them your opinion just because you know what it is.
Facts.
But if you're keeping the door open, if you're having an open door policy where Trae Young can come in and tell you how he feels at any given time, that's your problem. That's your fault. We shouldn't be looking to Trae Young for that, in my opinion. Whether or not it's right that he got fired, I don't know. Like I feel like we've seen mans perform better with way less and get fired. Look to Nate McMillan just recently. I feel like he performed he over exceeded expectations with a roster that kept changing, man's in and out of the lineup, and somehow he got fired. Now I look to Lord Pierce, and yeah, your team wasn't that great, but I think you should have been better. Your team started off 6-2 or some shit like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Let's not forget, like at one point I was on the pod asking mans if they're for real, and now you're 14 and 20 when he got fired. Like something's going wrong there. Maybe mans don't respect him. I feel like that's a possibility. Obviously, we know Trae Young doesn't respect him, but I don't know. I think we can't just act like he's a good coach because we genuinely don't know that. And
We don't know.
mans have been better and gotten fired. So.
We definitely don't know. But what I want to know is, all right, now he's gone. Now what happens? Like now, I would like for the pressure to be on Trey. Like whoever they bring in, I'm assuming that that's a better
But
situation
yo,
for you,
but
know?
yo, here's the thing. I think we're directing the energy in the wrong way. Trey is doing what he's doing, and as far as we know, the organ.
Is he a
But
star or
that's not the
not?
point. The point is whether or not he's a star is
So
irrelevant.
what is the
The
point?
point is the organization.
So what
The
is the
point is that
point?
the organization respects him as he's a star. Whether or not he's an actual star is irrelevant.
Okay, so then
I
if they
think he's just
respect
saying
you as a
he's a star. I
star,
think you're saying he's a star.
yeah,
But
I'm
if
saying
you're
no.
gonna
I'm saying
talk about,
I thought he's at least. I'm not gonna say he's a superstar, but I'm saying like he is a star in the NBA.
I
So
get
now
what
we
I get the
want.
question you're asking.
You get your guy. The guy who you didn't
Yeah,
want is out. He's gone. So let's
but I
see
think
it.
again, my point was I think we're direct.
You can't have it both
I
ways,
know, but I
fam.
think we're directing the energy in the wrong way. I don't think that, again, whether Trey Young voiced his opinion and said, I don't want this guy, he's been saying that. This is not the first time we heard that Lloyd Pierce wasn't the guy. Now it just gives him justification for doing whatever they had to do. But what I'm saying is, I think maybe the organization said, you know what, this season is kind of lost. Maybe we need to make a change up before we start committing to some of these guys, right? John Collins is coming up, trade deadline, right? Lloyd Pierce is going on to his third season. There's a lot of working parts here. And I think maybe they decide, okay, let's do a change up here now and see how we finish off before we start making some of these commitments that are on the timeline. Because again, Trae Young has not, this is not the first time we heard Trae Young speak out about his coach. So
He
what's the
never
difference
spoke
between then
out.
and
He
there?
never spoke out though.
Well, okay, there was rumors, right? There was a
Yeah,
sentiment in the air that he
yeah,
wasn't in favor of Lloyd
I,
Pierce.
I,
yeah.
okay, but I don't want to hear. All right, so but what are we saying about Trey though?
But
What do we like that you're trying to
I'm
gloss
not
over
glossing
Trey?
over because
What
I'm
are we
saying
saying about Trey in the sense of
what I'm
winning?
saying is
What are we saying? What are the expectations
I
for Trey
understand the
Young?
expectations are for him to win. We understand that, right? And in order for him to be respected as a superstar, at some point we're going to look to him and say, okay, where are the W's? But at the same time, what I'm saying is in the context of Atlanta, it doesn't matter. Because when they already look at Trae Young and say, yo, we respect you as the guy, whether you're winning or not, which he hasn't been winning, it doesn't make a difference. Because they're holding his voice the same. They're valuing his
Okay, so
opinion the same.
I fine, I got that. I got that. Now you tell me when it in respect to
Mm-hmm.
you and Trey Young, is it not time to win?
No, he's in his third.
Like you got your
He's in his
guy
third
out.
year. I think mans are forgetting the timeline of normal NBA progression. Mans don't get into the third year and just all of a sudden start bringing
Nah,
their teams to
but
top
yo,
four
Chris,
seeds.
I think if you detail your question in terms of winning, because he's in it. I don't care if he's in his third year. He has to be better than he's been. I'm not saying this man needs to be a top seed in the East, but you got to be a playoff team. You can't continue to have a ridiculously
Can
losing
you be?
record.
I'm saying, can you be like Ja? Like Ja hasn't made the playoffs yet, but we can't look to him and say he's a loser. He's put his team in positions to win,
But yo, like
to make the playoffs. That's all I'm asking.